Did you know that there are hundreds of foods with harmful effects and you are consuming them? It is very likely that in the daily lunches we prepare, we include an ingredient that, in excess, can seriously affect our health and we do not know it. That is why in this video, we will present 6 foods whose harms you never imagined they had, and I assure you that the last one is the worst of all. The first one is a widely consumed food, nutmeg. It turns out that it can cause psychotic effects in people. Although this information is shocking, it is proven that if doses of 10 grams are exceeded, there is a possibility of experiencing hallucinogenic sensations of low or medium intensity. It also has other effects such as nausea, pain, shortness of breath, or even convulsions. So next time you use this ingredient, think twice before doing it in large quantities and be more careful when serving. Secondly, we have cherries, which, despite appearing to be a harmless fruit, can severely damage your body. Cherries contain cyanide in their pits or seeds. This substance, even in low amounts, can lead to nosebleeds or an enlarged thyroid gland, while high exposure can cause intoxication, weakness, confusion, strong heartbeats, coma, or even death. 1 gram of cherry is equivalent to 1.7 milligrams of cyanide, so consuming 60 cherry pits or seeds would be practically lethal for a person. Therefore, it is vital to take this information into account when consuming them. Now let's talk about almonds, the favorite nut of many. This food has many benefits, but overconsumption can lead to slight problems such as weight gain, and despite being considered a healthy natural fat source, this can contribute to an increase in body fat percentage. However, the most serious effects come from a considerable intake of vitamin E, which can cause lethargy, that is, fatigue, blurred vision, headaches, diarrhea, and flatulence at inconvenient times. Likewise, it could contribute to the development of intestinal problems due to its high fiber content, which is 3.5 milligrams of fiber per 30 grams of almonds. This would lead to constipation and a lower effectiveness of the body to absorb vital nutrients. But that's not all. Almonds have soluble intestinal oxalate, and when it combines with calcium, it can lead to long-term kidney stones, so do not exceed 30 grams per day. Tomatoes are in most cases one of the main elements in a classic vegetable salad, but there are more harmful effects in this food than you may have known. Excessive consumption can cause heartburn due to the production of excess gastric acid, so if you have digestive stress, it is advisable not to consume it in any way. Likewise, joint pain can be a consequence of its consumption in large quantities, and the culprit is an alkaloid called solanin, responsible for the accumulation of calcium in tissues, leading to inflammation. There are also other effects such as allergies, whose origin is in histamine, which can cause skin rashes, as well as diarrhea due to the probable presence of a bacterium called salmonella. However, this food can also lead to kidney stones due to the same reason explained in the example of almonds. Combining calcium and oxalate in an excessive way makes it more difficult to metabolize and eliminate, so they can accumulate until they generate a stone. Do not exceed 2 tomatoes per day. And before moving on to the last food, there is no way we cannot mention the famous mushroom, which can safely be added that it is the most commonly used fungus in cooking. But its excessive consumption can cause headaches and hallucinations, as well as uncontrollable gas and explosive diarrhea. This is explained as follows: the uncontrolled ingestion of mushrooms generates an intolerance to trehalose, a disease that is still poorly studied today. Trehalose is an enzyme found in the intestinal mucosa whose intolerance significantly affects the small intestine, as well as the kidney and blood plasma. The lack of this enzyme causes trehalose to pass undigested into the large intestine, which generates intense abdominal pain, gas, and as mentioned above, diarrhea. This disease can easily be mistaken for other intolerances, such as lactose intolerance, irritable bowel syndrome, among others, making its diagnosis more complicated. Do not eat mushrooms daily. Now, let's talk about the last food on our list, tuna. This fish is known for being a healthy and nutritious source of protein, but consuming too much of it can actually be harmful to your health. The reason for this is because tuna contains high levels of mercury, a toxic metal that can lead to mercury poisoning if consumed in large quantities. Symptoms of mercury poisoning include muscle weakness, numbness in the hands and feet, tremors, vision and hearing impairment, and even death. Pregnant women and young children are particularly vulnerable to the harmful effects of mercury, so it is recommended that they limit their consumption of tuna and other fish that are high in mercury. In conclusion, it's important to be aware of the potential health risks associated with the foods we consume on a regular basis. While many of these foods are generally considered healthy and nutritious, it's important to consume them in moderation and to be mindful of the potential risks they pose to our health. By doing so, we can ensure that we're making informed choices about what we eat and taking steps to protect our overall health and well-being.